Self-expression. I'm not quite sure where to begin with this. There's so much that I'm feeling, there's so much happening, that I guess I'll start here because this is what I've been pondering in this moment and what struck me. Not that it's anything new, it's just what is occurring to me. Say that I am a child and that I am just going along doing what pleases me, what pleases myself, as I am naturally inclined to do, because I come in knowing that I am to please myself and that the purpose of this existence is joy. And in my doing what pleases me, there is something that you find displeasing. Something that displeases you, apparently. And either this is directly expressed, or it's suppressed, but obvious that something has changed. There's a withdrawal of your love, of your approval from me. And so, in either directly hearing about that or experiencing the energetic version of that, I learn that something that I have done means that you might not take care of me anymore. Your opinion of me has changed, your feeling of me, your love of me has apparently changed in this moment. And as I am a child and cannot care for myself, instinctively I am aware that you, as my caretaker, have power over me, over my physical form. And that if I am not receiving approval from you, then it is possible that I will not receive other things from you, such as food or shelter, and therefore could die. So, in this moment of me going along, being myself, and you having a reaction, and withdrawing your approval, withdrawing your love of me, again, either indirectly or directly through some sort of punishment, admonishment, I feel compelled to change my behavior. I learn to suppress a part of myself. I don't learn that that behavior is wrong. I learn that I am wrong. And I don't change. What changes is I learn to filter whatever that desire was that elicited the behavior, my acting on it. I learn to put that into the repressed part of myself, into the shadow, whatever you want to call it. I learned to deny that that part of myself exists, because to accept that that part of myself exists is a threat to my survival in this moment. So, I don't change. I don't learn not to do that thing or not to want to do that thing. I just learn to suppress it. I learn to reject that part of myself in order to please you so that I can feel safe. It's all basically a lie. That part of me still exists. That part of me is naturally there. It doesn't go anywhere just because I shut it down and shove it away from me. Doesn't make it change, doesn't make it less me. But I learned to pretend that that isn't me in order for you to feel pleased with what I am, because you couldn't accept that part. And because you couldn't accept it, I recognized there was a threat to my physical safety there. So I pushed it away and learned to pretend that it didn't exist in order to elicit your love, your protection, your provision. And this is how the parts of myself become segregated within me. Nothing changes. That is still my natural self that was behaving in its natural way. And the rejection of it might appear to outwardly create a change. It's a lie. It's an illusion. All I learned to do is to pretend. And in my pretending, I start to identify as this false self, as this role that I am now playing to please you in order to feel safe. I start to lose track of me. Because very quickly, I learn that, gosh, there are a lot of parts of me that you seem not to like, you seem not to be okay with. So more and more of me is getting put into this box that's then shoved into a corner. And the box is labeled parts of me that are unacceptable. And pretty soon I start to internalize that voice. This external voice that again was telling me that this was not okay, that this was not appropriate, that this was wrong, this was bad, this part of me, this behavior, which was a natural expression. Whether or not that was ever clearly verbally expressed in that way, because it doesn't have to be. You can just emotionally neglect me and it will have the same result. You can just withdraw your attention and your love from me without saying a word, and I will learn to create that voice inside myself. I will make it up on my own. This voice of punishment, this voice of, oh, I've disappointed you again. And I am disappointing. Even if I don't have that word, if I don't have words for it, I can feel it. And then we grow older, and it's no wonder that we have no idea who we are, as we do. Most of us. This is not intended to apply to every human being, every child. This is just a very typical scenario that I think does apply to the majority of adult human beings in Western civilization right now. And certainly has for many, many years. Again, none of this is new. This is not new. It's not a new concept. It's just something that I am exploring directly. And so society is built upon our learning to lie to one another. Essentially, all of the rules of polite interaction are the terms of our mutual manipulation of one another, all stemming from this place, this time where genuinely we needed our physical welfare depended upon our acceptance. If I was not accepted by my caretaker, then I could die. That memory, that inclination, carries forth even when we are out of that phase, when we are in the place where we are physically developed, capable of fending for ourselves, of surviving. But there is still that threat. Because what might you do? What might you do if you find me upsetting? Well, you might just insult me, but you might exclude me from the activities that had been a part of my caring for myself, perhaps. You might exclude me from the safety of a community. You might exile me. You might physically attack me. You might harm me. You might even kill me. Just because some part of me is something that you didn't like. And so we are all trying not to upset each other. Instead of taking responsibility for our own emotional experience and recognizing the only thing that we are ever upset about in another individual is something that we had been repressing in ourselves because that piece of ourself apparently upset someone else. And so we learned upset. And now I'm not saying something like it's not natural to cry if someone hits you. If you are a child and you experience pain, if someone pulls your hair, then you feel upset, yes. But it's not it's not morally tinged. It's an ouch, that hurt my body. And therefore, I am crying, I am expressing this pain. And maybe I learn in this moment, this is a thing that causes pain. That experience of pain was not pleasant to me. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to feel that, and I don't want other people to feel that. That's simple. It's not, I'm a bad person for pulling someone's hair. It's not, good people don't pull each other's hair. There's no moral weight to it. It's just experiential. And if we grow up with a safe and secure environment to experience those things, then I believe we do tend to learn the world in that way, void of this unnecessary and made up moral weight. You don't learn not to kill something because killing is bad and wrong. You learn that you don't want to kill something because you like being alive and that thing is alive. And maybe you just want to respect each other's life. Maybe you understand that you have the power to do something like squash a bug. But if you were the size of that bug and that bug were the size of you, how would you feel? Would you wish to be left alone, not to be squashed just because? None of that makes you bad, and this giant bug would not be some evil villain if it did crush you. It would just be unthinking. And so maybe then you have a little more thought behind your actions. Again, not about the morality of them, but understanding your power of effect on this world and what sort of effect you would like to have. Shame is totally unnecessary. We learn to move about the world in harmony with nature when we are simply free to explore it. All of this guilting, this manipulation of behavior by calling it good or bad or wrong or right has just caused us to split within ourselves, to segregate the whole of our being into those categories of good and bad, right and wrong. And then because we've done that, of course, we point that out in other people because that's what we learned to do. And because I am rejecting this part of myself when I see it in you, it is seeing it in me. I am seeing what is within me reflected in you. And I am rejecting it. And I am teaching the very same thing that I was taught. Until we decide to stop. Until we decide to stop putting parts of ourselves into boxes and either shoving them in corners or putting them on display. And we take everything out of every box and just give it room to be free. And then we learn the way that we truly want to be. It's not about hurting feelings or sparing feelings because we become responsible for our own feeling. We learn that our experience is totally within our control. It's ours. We stop blaming other people for any part of it. If you pull my hair and it hurts, I don't think you're a bad person. I express pain. And maybe I just learn not to be near you. Because I might get my hair pulled. And I don't particularly like that. But it's not an indictment of you. And I don't have to wage war against you. Maybe there are some people who like their hair pulled. And you find those people. And my departure opens up a space for those people to find their way to you. And you live happily ever after. I don't have to push you away. I don't have to exclude you. I can just remove myself from that space. Not with fear. With awareness, with understanding and appreciation for what it is that I don't like. So now I know more of what it is that I do. I'm gonna go do that. It can be so easy if we let it. But now we're in this place where we have a lot of unlearning to do. A lot of deconditioning. All of this trying to control one another, control our reactions to one another, control our emotions, because we've been holding other people responsible for our emotions. Of course, we're trying to control their behavior because we think it's their behavior that is creating the emotion in us. And vice versa. When other people are doing the same, holding us responsible for their emotions, we feel beholden to them. We feel obligated. to change our behavior. Again, it's a lie. It's a lie. Nothing changes. We're just pretending to appease someone else in order to feel safe. What if we just gave all of that up and decided to feel safe anyway? Decided to derive the sense of safety from somewhere else, somewhere other than other people. My safety doesn't depend on you. My safety isn't threatened by you. My safety is inherent. My security, the security of my being, the wellness of my being cared for and provided for and protected and accepted, all of that doesn't come from you. It's not dependent upon you and your opinion of me. All of that happens at a higher and deeper level. The universe accepts me. The universe is what is taking care of me. I am safe because I am. And so you are safe to have your opinion and your emotions and your experience, and I don't seek to change them. Because they don't affect me. They don't threaten my security. And you don't have to change them to appease me, because I am not a threat to your well-being either. So we can both just feel whatever it is that we feel fully, knowing that we're safe to do that. All of your thoughts about me don't mean anything about me, and they don't affect me. And the same is true of mine about you. Because really, we're not even thinking about each other. Certainly not if there is judgment involved. We're thinking about each other's behavior, which is not each other. So judge away on the behavior front. None of that is even anywhere close to the truth of my being or yours. And if I stop thinking about behavior which is not you, I discover a different feeling. Even if all of the behavior has apparently deeply offended me, which again it would only do because it has been rejected within myself. Which means as long as I am accepting that within myself, then your expression of it is not offensive to me. So my taking offense at you or something you have done is an indication for me, is direction for me to look at something within myself that I have denied, that I have pushed away. It actually has nothing to do with you. My feelings about you, my offense over your action has nothing to do with you and everything to do with what I have rejected in me. And now I get to look at that and learn to love it and learn to accept it, to find and hold and appreciate that long-lost piece of myself. And in doing so, I discover there is no flaw. There is no flaw. Not in your being and not in mine. That wound, whatever it is, that splinter, becomes healed. I integrate that part of myself back into the whole. I take it out of the box and I put it back in. And in doing so, I see that both of us are whole. In healing myself, both of us are healed. That's how it works. And I'm only able to do that because of something you have demonstrated to me that has triggered me into realizing that I had rejected that part of myself. So then there is only gratitude. There is only gratitude for the whole of that experience. And all of the offense and defensiveness and huffiness and whatever it was seems so distant. It's completely faded. How could I be anything but grateful for that which has caused me to grow? How could I be anything but loving and appreciative and approving of that which is myself? And which is beautiful exactly as it is. And now I'm witnessing it in you and appreciating it in you. And now I'm seeing you clearly. And I'm seeing, I'm not thinking. I'm directly experiencing you. And in my direct experience of you, I see your absolute, unfiltered, unfailing beauty, your perfection, exactly as you are. And now I'm here just appreciating you, your being, every expression of it, yes, but I'm appreciating it purely for being what it is. I have a lot to appreciate. I have everything to appreciate. There's a lot that has been triggered in me, and I have no doubt will continue to be, especially today. And there's more to be said about that, but it is separate. Also to do with the policing of pleasure, this unnecessary shame. But noticing it in myself, that notion that I'm too happy, I'm dangerously happy, I'm offensively happy. And if someone is offended at my happiness, then that is because their own happiness has been put in a box and set aside and rejected. And I know that there are things that I have, of course, obviously, there are so many things that I've done that too. And there still are. There are still many parts of me that in all of this triggering, I am finding and holding space for. And accepting, not just as part of me, but as a part of me that I had pushed away. Finding space for parts of me that have great sadness, that have anger. Parts of me that enjoy suffering, that enjoy pain, that enjoy the apparent infliction of pain or other sensation, that enjoy feeling their effect on the world around them. They're all parts of myself, and so that's for me. That part is for me. Whatever my reaction to someone's reaction to me is. If I notice that my behavior is rejected, is frowned upon, is not approved of, is met with annoyance or anger or despair. Well, that part is not my responsibility and has nothing to do with me. But what is mine is, how does that affect me internally? What is my response to this? Oh, the mail is here. Okay, quickly finishing. It's fucking cold outside. But I wanted to finish my thought that my role is to pay attention to my response to your response. In other words, if you express disapproval of me, what does that elicit within me? Because if I feel like my behavior now needs to change because I don't feel safe because you've disapproved of me, that's just a denial of something that naturally expressed. It's for me to look at, certainly, for me to examine. Perhaps what were my motivations in this action that you disapproved of, but it was most likely me following my own bliss, following my own pleasure. I mean, ultimately, that really is it the majority of the time. And if it wasn't that, then it was a different... If it wasn't me following my own bliss, it was me conforming my behavior in order to gain some sort of approval somewhere else. So those are really my only two options. Was I acting authentically and following what felt good to me, or was I acting out of fear and falling in line? I would always rather feel unsafe in following my pleasure and expression of my authentic self than experience the false security of being approved of by outside forces.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Mail guy's nice. Anyway, I don't have much more. Just examining that, examining the role of guilt, shame, and how when I take an action out of guilt, I regret it. It's not an authentic action. If I am acting from a place of feeling guilty, that is the denial of myself. That's just further rejection of myself. That's so clearly manipulation, changing my behavior because I felt guilty, not because I wanted to, not because that's how I actually felt, because I felt bad. Oh no, you didn't like what I did? Oh no, your feelings? I did what I did because I wanted to. It doesn't feel good to lie about that to you, to try to get you to forgive me, to manipulate, to change your behavior. It doesn't change that I did what I did because I wanted to. I would so much rather you feel whatever you feel about me, hate me, disapprove of me, reject me, whatever it is, and me saying, yeah, I did that because I wanted to. If you then think I am thoughtless or careless or irresponsible or cruel or whatever it is, then please go ahead and think that. Because I don't want to manipulate you out of your experience by apologizing and saying, oh, I feel so bad. I didn't think about it. I didn't mean to da. None of that's true. That's all a lie. That's all made up. None of that is true. That is total manipulation. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that. I don't want to say I'm sorry if I'm not fucking sorry. I would rather just be perceived as whatever. Whatever. How many times do we apologize to people that we don't feel sorry to? But we recognize that they have power. Perhaps. Some sort of power over us. That's what we're feeling into. And so out of fear, we feel bad. But it's not genuine. It's not genuine. I don't actually regret that. I regret that you saw it and didn't like it. And that's not regret either. I'm gonna own my behavior, which is the natural expression of myself. And if I behave in a way that is not authentic, if I behave in a way that is manipulative or was driven by fear, then I want to own that too. That's what I regret. That's the only action that I ever regret. If I acted in a way that was not fueled by my desire, my genuine desire, but more by fear, and I let that guide my decisions, my action, then I regret that. And I am sorry for that. And I'm sorry for not expressing my authentic self. I'm not sorry for any effect that it had. I'm sorry that I didn't listen to myself. I'm sorry that I shut myself down, that I put some part of me in a box and said it wasn't appropriate. I'm sorry that I let fear take control of me. I'm mostly sorry to me. I'm not even really sorry to you. I'm sorry for the way that this expression has become tainted, perhaps. And that doesn't feel good. That's genuine bad feeling. But guilt is made up. Guilt is manipulation, whether we are deploying it externally or internally. And I am tired of it. I'm tired of letting guilt into any of my relating. Regret is one thing. If I have acted in a way that truly is not in alignment with the authentic expression of myself, that feels different. It cuts differently. It's deeper, but it's also more subtle. Guilt is so obvious. It's surface level, it's immediate, it's this kind of gut punch sensation. Oh my God, let me fix this because I feel bad. I've done wrong, I've broken something. Bad feeling, bad. I'm so bad. That's what it feels like. I feel bad because I am bad. That's what guilt says. Regret is, oh, I wasn't paying attention. I see now that I acted in a way that wasn't me. And I feel the deep cut of that. It's not this surface level explosive kind of burning. It's this deep, quiet sting of, yeah, that wasn't my desire. That wasn't me being myself. I was inauthentic there. I lied to you when I said I was sorry. I'm not sorry. And I feel bad for myself having not spoken my truth and expressed myself in sincerity. I did what I did because it felt good to me. And I do not care the way that it apparently made you feel. I do not take responsibility for your emotions. I accept that they are what they are, and that you think I'm responsible for them. I can accept all of that, but I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm only sorry that I didn't tell you this sooner, that I inaccurately represented myself previously, because I was afraid of what you thought of me, because I cared what your opinion of me was. That's what I'm sorry for. And I'm mostly sorry to me. I am sorry. I am sorry to you, because I know that it is respect, genuine respect, for me to be my authentic self. That is respect of you and your energy, for me to express authentically. Not for me to mollycoddle you, not for me to mollify and make up and appease and ask for your forgiveness. No, for me to state boldly, clearly, I am not asking for your forgiveness. I'm not. I don't care. You can forgive me or not, and I respect that either way. I respect your emotional experience. I expect you to do you, and I'm gonna do me. And I honor us both by embodying and expressing that authentically. That's what I want to do more of. I can feel the challenge of that, because I was so used to for a very long time, and I've practiced myself out of it quite a lot over the past year, but there's still a steady stream of it, especially as it pertains to my past relationship. That was my dominant mode of being, was submitting and lying, essentially, in order to get someone to like me. And I don't want to do that anymore. And if that means that this person does not like me at all, which I suspect is the case, because the me that she liked wasn't me. The me that she liked was not at all me. It was this made up character that was placid and submissive and quiet and just rolled over and was constantly apologizing. Didn't want to offend, didn't want to upset, any of those things. That's not me. That is not who I am. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you're upset about my actions or my being. That's me, and that me is the me that, the self that she very clearly does not care for. Which is all fine and dandy. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make her bad. She's not a bad person. Neither am I. Just don't like each other. That's okay. That is okay. And the things that I don't care for about her, again, they don't need to change. They're things about her. She's good. She's divine. She is loved. She's well. She doesn't need me to approve of her behavior. It gets to be what it is, and I get to see it and accept it and say, hey, not for me. That's okay. That doesn't make it wrong. It's just not for me. It's a part of self, and it's allowed. That's all well and dandy. It's just not for me. Some people like having their hair pulled. Some people like Rocky Road ice cream. Some people who aren't me, and that's fine. That's great. Thank goodness we have different preferences. Can you imagine if we all liked all the same things exactly? How fucking boring the world would be. Thank God that we have different things that we like or don't like so much. It's all preference, and we get to have it. We get to explore and experience and form preferences. That doesn't mean the things that are not our preference are bad or have to be destroyed. We just don't prefer them, and we don't have to. We don't have to have those things on our plate. This is a giant buffet. The green beans are not going to jump on your plate. You don't have to fend them off. If you don't want them, you just don't scoop them there. It is that simple. And you let other people scoop all the green beans that they want. I like green beans, by the way, but I don't have it. There's like no food that I could even... There's no food that I dislike that immensely. Sourdough bread. I don't have to eat sourdough if I don't want to. It's not going to invade my dinner table. And you know what? Even if it somehow finds its way onto my plate, I still don't have to eat it. I can eat around it. I can leave it there. I can leave it for someone else. Somebody who wants sourdough and is just hankering for it is going to wander by and see that baby and go, oh, what a gift. A gift from God. This must be my lucky day. Extra sourdough roll for me. And they can take it and they can laugh all the way home. And so can I. Oh, we can just appreciate the contrast and the diversity and the differences in expression and the things that we like and don't particularly care for. And that's what I want to focus on. It is all fun. It's all a buffet. And we get to eat the things that we like and put back the things that we don't and taste the things we've never tried to find out which category they fit in. That's it. That's it. That's my expression. And I'm very pleased in it. Have a beautiful night. Thank you for your witness. If you are one who is witnessed, I witness you in all of the exquisite and specific and unique beauty and preference that you are. You are perfect, and I love you.